you're new here, I'm Kaniti, and if you're already watching this channel, welcome back. Today we are continuing watching season 2 of anime Made in Abyss, and we are on episode 4 today, so let's see what this episode has. Let's go. Alright, we met the Princess of the Depths. I forgot to take my notebook. Well, it's okay. The one she wanted? Is he gonna be abducted? Again? The scent of sunny places. Oh wait, they know each other. So in her mind he came back. Because he has some memories he can't recover. That is the girl. Though she looks completely the same age, but... Her eyes look... Wow, what... Look similar to that girl we took from the village in the backstory, right? She has some interesting abilities as well, the way she kind of enveloped him. So yeah, when she was shocked, when she was surprised, and her eyes kind of got very small in the whites of her eyes, you know what I mean? It looked very similar to the expression that girl had, and we actually, I don't think we got her name ever here. She is in the opening with this kind of pigtails that go like this. So yeah, I feel like the eyes are very similar, so I might be correct. I wasn't sure like when exactly this backstory happened, but if we assume that like this expedition they turned into hollows, we could, for example, theorize that. Gosh, what was he? I'm sorry, I forgot my notebook. The one that met us in the village of Hollows might be the captain of that ship, for example. I thought there are like some visual similarities in the design, and so this girl must be this girl from the village that became this kind of princess of the Hollows. And I'm sure it's called Friend. Okay, let's see. Well, he wasn't reckless, but yeah, this guy. Oh shit. Smelling. Yet? So you think she has to do it? Magicacha, yes. By her feelings? Well, yeah, as I said, you have signals of the soul. What do you mean? There are like some remnants of Mitzi? Even the first time repeated the name, it felt like he knows what it is. Like, hmm. Because like Mitzi has already ascended to the afterlife. So there was something left after she became a hollow? Yeah, he did. Well, the episode is called Friend, so I assume they were friends. And she said something like, "What happened with your hand?" So. His belly button looks a bit unusual. Ah, right. I already forgot everything like about the past episodes, right? Ew. Why would you pierce it? I assume that's what's gonna happen. Ow! If he's her friend, why is she being so horrible? Why did she pierce his wound? Ew. Haku? The highest value. So he went to bring the highest value? What the fuck? I feel like I need to rewatch the first episodes, maybe. I don't remember them well enough by now. Like about his name. In the same time. Mm-hmm. So I assume as she became a hollow, her time has changed. So we can't really say how much time has passed since that expedition because I feel like it has to be a lot. But if she is that girl, she seems the same age. Mm. He also has that symbol. So did they have like romantic relationship? That's a good question. So many pretty petals. Is this a grave here? But scattered for celebration. Well, a lot of confusing things have happened. She still has her belly upset after that fantastic food. I feel bad for the toilet. At 11 deaths. At least they have good water. Her voice carries really well. Suddenly they became 1000 times more creepy. Maybe she yelled too loud? That's not a good idea. Or was it like an effect in her eyes? Suddenly she saw them as super creepy. Also, she agreed to something that I'm not even sure what she agreed to with the um in owner. Magikaja is such a cool name. Sounds magical, you know, magi. They following her because she has value. They're saying that Magikaja should be there, or is this a trap? They're like salivating. Wait, what's? They're kind of dark. I feel like she's a bit trapped. I feel like we're in big trouble. Holy shit. What? She's okay? How? I thought she was murdered. And everyone who are there who attacked her, they have some strange dark spots on their bodies. That was also confusing. Yeah, I thought she was murdered or something. So the balancing does something like takes everything that you value, but there was also like meat taken from her. I guess her hand doesn't look too well, but is she like in love with Mania now? What is going on? Of their friends? She doesn't have a very wide vocabulary, and I'm still a bit scared of her, but everything worries me. Whew. Does she still have some money left? I'm not sure if it's a good idea to eat here, though. She felt bad after food in the inn. I'm not sure if it works like that. Maybe he's already finishing it up. Oh, lucky. It looks like, I don't know, intestines. I'm so happy that it's her exploring the abyss and not me. I have. Well, I guess she liked it. Well, I said intestines, but that was close. Kinda. He has a really cool design. Holy shit. Free sages. Magikaja talked about free sages. Okay, Nanachi is trying to research like what was that about Mitzi. What's that, a dragon? Oh, wait, we saw this kind of this face, I think, when we first saw Village of Hollows, but I think it was some other character. Or there were like shadows around. Wait, what the heck? Didn't we kill Mitzi? What's going on? Wasn't there like we completely annihilated her? Is it the present? What the heck is happening with her? Where is she? Why is there... That's the girl... Okay, wait. I need my... notebook. Did we even get her name? I think we did. That's the girl from the... Vueka was her name, right? Red, white hair girl from that backstory. With this expedition, so that she still looked like herself, kinda, maybe a little bit grown up. Well, her hair certainly grew up a lot. She looked like at the same time like she's trapped, especially since she had this collar on her, but also... Wait, they mentioned Belaf as well. I have him written down as an old-looking boy. I remember him. And Captain was Wazukyan. So maybe that's not Magikaj. Maybe they would still call Wazukyan. They wouldn't change his name. So Magikaj is someone else. I'm not sure. And... Free Sages of Ganja, right, that's how they called themselves on the expedition. He told Vueka that she's now like one of Free Sages of Ganja or something like that. Let's go back and check some things. So there's someone here besides Kaji-san who understands my language, Rico has asked. But there are others too who understand her language. And for example, we see this very interesting looking guy. That's Vazukyan. Gosh, that's his... Because, yes, I'm very bad at remembering names. Especially, I feel his name is a bit complicated. And that was the captain. So, yeah, Magikaji is completely someone different. Because Free Sages of Ganja, they are from that backstory. They came here on the ship. The captain, Vazukyan, that is him. He changed a lot. Like, I wouldn't be able to recognize by the visual design. I feel like he is of the Free Sages. Wait, and I'm sure they mentioned Belaf at some point as well. Belaf. Kaja is coming in. Okay, that's in the point with Nanachi. So, when they were talking about Mitzi, Majikaja said, okay, I'll like show you where Mitzi is. And so they are going into this place, and he says, Belaf, I'm coming in. So what we have right here is Belaf. So this creature, let's see again, that I feel like we saw this face when we first came into the Village of Hollows, and it was very interesting looking. So maybe it is a different face, but I feel like it looks pretty similar. And he became quite a huge creature, like actually like a dragon. So that's Belaf. And then we saw everyone, like main characters from the expedition here. It felt like Vueka is inside something. So yeah, she's inside. Like the transition even looked like that. I thought she's inside that creature that is beloved. That's the impression I got. But honestly, like by the looks of it, I don't know. Doesn't look like he has something like that inside. It would be a bit strange if she was inside of him. But that's like the impression I got from the transition here. And then we see her in this black mask that looks kind of similar to the black mask that appears during the reckoning, balancing. They called it balancing, right? And there are, it seems like souls maybe around her with this yellow glowing eyes. So maybe the ones that suffer the balancing of or something like that. Yeah, that's thought. I feel so bad for her. What the heck? Now she's trapped in some strange black place. Well, I assume, and that's where the episode ends. I assume that we will get more info on that backstory, and like we will learn how did we even get there. A lot of very confusing things happened in this episode to me. So first of all, of course, with Ma-san, that was, I felt like in the previous episode we saw this balancing happening and like the value was taken from them, and they made it look as if she was deceased. There was some like meat even coming out that people just started eating out of the blue, and they thought, okay, so they were killed, and now we see them again, and their actions themselves are pretty logical. They know now how high of a value Mania has, and so they don't want it to be hurt. They want to preserve its value, so naturally they try to save it. When others attack Rico and Mania, and this was also a very confusing moment here. Like these hollows that trapped Rico, I felt like there was something off about them, like compared even to other hollows. As I mentioned, seemed like some black spots on them, but the balancing still came for them because they tried to damage the value of Rika and Mania, and they did steal the helmet. Maybe that also has some value as kind of part of Rika, I'm not sure. And so something happened to them as well, something has been taken from them, but they were willing to devour Rika and Mania even though they knew that the balancing can come for them. And you can say, okay, like in the real world we also have normal people, we have many different kinds of people, and we have kind of criminals, so you could say that this is just like in the real world, these people are some kind of criminals, and even though they know that they might be judged on their actions in court or something like that, go to prison, they might still choose to go with the crime for various reasons, right? So I guess that's how I can explain it. And seeing the hand of Ma-san, I think maybe like just part of them was taken, because obviously like their hand is damaged, their arm, I'm not sure. So probably all the items they stored inside of them, and like part of them was gone, but not like whole of them. They weren't murdered. It's just like we didn't even see them. They disappeared, and I thought like that's it. But now it seems they are okay, and we are now friends with Ma. And yeah, you see, the thing is, the creatures here, they don't have the same set of morals and values, like what is a good thing to do, what is a bad thing to do. They have their own opinions on that, their own standards, and the thing is, Ma might have like good intentions now, and maybe she had them like from the start. She was just very confused, so to say, like what is this? Maybe didn't even see Manya as a live creature. That is also possible. Like doesn't have that empathy that you would have seen like a bird or someone like that. But at the same time, it's still scary a little bit. You are still a bit worried and apprehensive, because with someone like that, you just don't know what they're going to do. For example, this girl, I have to write her down, to Faputa, I think she said her name is. Well, the princess of the hollows, princess of the depths. She stated, I think, that she's Reg's friend, that maybe they were even closer. Though that was a bit concerning. I feel like they are little kids, in my opinion. And she went like down there and said, "You are mine." And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, what is going on? But yeah, just taking the facts as they are, we just have to say they're either friends or they were something like more than friends from her actions and her words. Alright? But still, she felt like it's totally fine to pierce his wound so the blood it will hurt, obviously, and she still felt fine with doing that. Just check if his taste of blood is the same. Like, that's fucked up. But we can assume that for her it's like now a normal thing to do. At the same time, you could say, okay, but if she really is that girl from the village, and Vazukyan, Belaf, Wueka, they were all humans. And all the other hollows, most likely they were also humans who turned into hollows. So why do they have this different set of values and understanding about the world? To which I would say that's still kind of understandable, because first of all, they changed so dramatically. It can already and then make you a little bit different, make your perception of the world different. You change visually, maybe you change internally as well. And then we don't know how long they were living in these forms, in this world, in the depths of the abyss. The mindset and the values the person holds, they can change with time. So by now, they're completely integrated into this new kind of flow of life. So it's completely understandable why they not like the same anymore as just a regular human. Especially, we also don't know how the tribe the girl came from has lived, what kind of sets of rules and values it had. For example, it banished her to the abyss when she was like a small child. She didn't even have like her chest developed or anything, and they already were like, she will be unable to bear children, so go fuck yourself. Like, that was so, like, what? Like, even the notion itself that they tell her to go away because of this, they banish her because of this, but also, how do they like figure it out when she's so tiny? She probably didn't even have her period yet, and like, what the heck? How were they living in this village? That's what you think. So she, from the jump, from how she was raised, might have had very different like worldview, so to say, to what we are accustomed to as contemporary humans. And like even now in different parts of the world, right, people think differently on many different topics. So I feel like I start with one point and I want to kind of develop it, but I go outside to the other points and I completely forget what even I started with. Right, Mitzi. I said there were a lot of confusing things in this episode. So the first one was Ma-san, the return of Ma-san, but we kind of, okay, I explained it to myself. Then we got Mitzi, and that's much harder to explain because we completely, as I remember it, they completely annihilated Mitzi, and there was even this beautiful moment where there was kind of her face in the sky, well, on the shot in that moment, And it felt like, okay, now she's going to be reborn, and maybe we will meet her again once she's reborn, so romantic. But then we see her again in her hollow form there in the village of hollows somehow. So does that mean that if you die somewhere in the, like, tying maybe also to Ma-san, if you die somewhere in the abyss, once you are hollow already, you will not die, you will reappear again? Is that like what I'm getting? I feel like that once you are hollow, you can't even die, you will just come back again, and this will be a never-ending cycle. At the same time, it kind of calls balancing into question. If you would be scared of losing your life, you would be more careful about damaging others' value. Yes, of course, you can also lose valuable things that you have yourself. But if there's no danger, no apparent danger to your person, well, I guess Ma-san lost part of their body, though. And like, I don't, like, condone is the word then you use, that you are like accept something, like think it's good, right? I don't condone killing people for their crimes. I'm forgetting all the words today. But at the same time, I feel like this, if you die and you just come back, makes you lose this sense of value for life in general, for being alive, and view like death differently as well. Maybe it would also explain, if they damage Menya, obviously she will just die, but also how do they comprehend well that the other creature isn't the same as they are? For example, if I live in a village where everyone who dies, they just come back, and then someone else comes to our village from outside, how would I know that it's different for them? I would assume that if they die, they will just come back like all the others, right? So this kind of thing, it really cheapens the value of life. I think it's kind of cool how they have this whole value system. It gives them their own, like, law system, you would say, their own rules and regulations on how they live, and their own value system. I think that's really impressive, and also is a good thing to maybe show a different kind of society, as from like a writing standpoint as well. So yeah, I had a lot of thoughts on this episode. A lot of things have happened, and as I said, a lot of confusing things. I kind of tried to explain them to myself as you saw, as a whole, but that doesn't make them less confusing in my eyes. So we'll see. These are just like my assumptions, these are just my theories. We have to watch and see how will the anime itself explain all these things. I feel like the last one is Reg's name. Unfortunately, I don't even have like the episodes downloaded anymore from the first season, so I don't really remember. How did she call him Reg from how it was? If I just go by this dialogue in this episode itself, I could theorize that maybe he was saying this word, and Rika, no, you know how it usually happens, like Ma, for example, saying Ma, Ma, and Rika calling her, okay, now your name is Ma then, right? So if Reg said something like Reg, and she was like, okay, so that's your name. Or did she name him for some other purposes? I'd assume, like, this is funny because I'm theorizing something that I should know, I just don't remember. Yeah, I feel like I don't have time right now to download and check, because I was going to watch like the next 2 episodes, but after I record them, maybe I'll go back and check, or if you also like say in the comments. That might be helpful as well to discuss this current episode. Faputa, I'm sorry if I said it wrong, I'll write it down after this one. She knew him very well and called him Reg as well. So I'm really curious how he came to be, how he appeared. He doesn't seem like a hollow really, but he doesn't really like seem like a fully human, like a cyborg. So that is very curious. And she said that his mission generally was like his goal was to find the highest value to him. It could mean different things. Maybe they were just like chilling around and he said like, this is my dream. Everyone has something that they find value in, and I'm not sure what do I value, so I'll go and find my highest value. And she was like, okay, come back and bring it then. And I feel like maybe Rika would be his highest value for him right now. This girl, the princess, she might be like jealous, it felt like. So this might be a bit of a recipe for disaster. And also, if she felt like Reg would bring something valuable, that would be her stealing the whistle, as thinking, okay, Reg brought something valuable, the whistle, but then she brought it to the village, right? Because I'd assume it was her. So yeah, there's still a lot of questions. I feel like I should end it for now. And yeah, I'm going to watch all three in a row today. So 4th, 5th, and 6th. So by the time this video goes live, I would already watch it. Like first 6 episodes. But still, like, if you share your thoughts on this one in the comments down below, please do so without spoilers. So we're just discussing like this episode and what happened before it. And yeah, if you maybe remind me about Reg, that would be pretty nice as well. So I don't have to like download and rewatch, because I'm not sure. Did it happen? Probably in the first episode, right? Maybe I should try. But for now, yeah, it would be it for today. I think that there was a lot to talk about in this episode. So yeah, I would be happy if there is some dialogue that we can have in the comments. But yeah, that would be it for today. So thank you for watching and see ya.